Good afternoon, YouTubers. T-Square here with T-Square Talk. So I want to talk a little bit about a couple of comments and also a little bit more about a video that I did yesterday. So some people might find this topic, well, everybody will find this topic crazy in one way or another. Because when I tell you that some people think silver can be mined for $3 an ounce, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to say that's crazy. And then when I tell you that some people believe silver could go as high as $1,000 an ounce, there's going to be a lot of you guys that are going to say that's crazy. However, we're going to talk about both of these comments and both of these rational thinking, and we're going to talk about it with some math. I'm also going to put a link below this video on how silver is actually made. Now, it's a great video. It's an actual TV show, how silver is made. It's actually how it's made. And this episode, they did silver. And somebody broke it down and put it on a video. And I thought that was pretty cool. And I want you guys to check it out if you get a minute. It's only a 5-minute video. But more importantly, we just broke 9,000 subscribers. So we are fixing to talk a little bit in an upcoming video on our 10,000 subscriber giveaway. So please take a quick minute to make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button for me and leave me a comment. I especially hope you guys hit that thumbs up, because something I am trying to track is what % of views come off of thumbs up. I know that sounds weird. I'm big into numbers, and now I'm kind of studying the YouTube algorithm a little bit. So if you could, please hit that thumbs up button. You may not agree with some of the stuff we're going to say. And if that's the case and you don't want to hit the subscribe button, I will totally understand. Hopefully you do, but please hit that thumbs up button. Okay. So with that being said, let's get started. Now, the first thing we're going to talk a little bit about is going to be the easier, in my opinion, mining silver for $3 and 49 cents, I think was the comment. And you guys can go back and look at the comment. Don't be mean. Don't be mean. If you want to put links or something on it, you can. Comments, whatever, but keep it professional. And it can be so that they can refine it and everything for 10 something. And maybe we will see $19 silver. Those two numbers are extremely far apart. First of all, I would love to see $19 silver. That would make me as happy as you can imagine, because at that point, I would probably take out a loan against my house. I hate to say that. You can pick up low interest loans if the collateral's right and you wheel and deal. Some credit cards do 0% interest for up to 18 months in some cases. I actually just seen a letter come in on a credit card. If you were willing to take their credit card, they would give you 0% for 12 months. But I've seen better. But 0%, you can't go wrong. With that being said, the only way I would do something crazy is if all of a sudden we saw silver go down under 19. I don't think I'm going to be able to buy it under 19. I don't even think spot will go down to 19. And the reason I think that is the video link that I put below this one. It's going to be at the very top. It's not often that I direct people to another video. However, this video actually is hands-on. It takes you through the mining process, through the refining process, through the testing process, through the extra refining process. That way you can have true industrial grade silver, and all the way to the extremely fine 999 process. I want you guys to specifically, when you watch it, I want you guys to focus on the amount of equipment that is being used and the amount of chemicals that's being used and the amount of people in the video that are running this stuff. So it starts out in the mountain, pulling out rock, exploding the rock bed in the mountain, hauling it out by the truckloads, putting it in grinders and crushers and more crushers, dumping in water with acid. All this costs money to do. Once they do that, then they have to dry it. Then they have to basically run it through an oven, I guess you could say. And from there, refine it some more. And it was kind of crazy because when you watch the video, you're going to get it. You're going to just see truckloads and truckloads of dirt. And then when they tap the final sample and dump it out, I mean, it ain't even this big, the final sample. At the end, you have tons and tons of rock, and it comes down to maybe what would be seen as maybe a 50-ounce bar at best, at whatever size the bar is, and then it gets sold off to further down the line. With that being said, there's too much labor. It's too labor extensive. It costs too much. The chemicals cost money. The equipment costs money. And you might get around the labor part if somebody lives in like a third world country and they can get labor cheap. I've done a lot of reading about cobalt mines and the process and how they get all that cobalt out of the ground using cheap labor. I won't use the actual word in case it's derogatory. But essentially, that's the kind of labor that they use. And children labor, kids labor. Needless to say, I can't envision that personally. Now, let's jump back over to the opposite end of the spectrum to kind of shut down that under $20 silver again. Them days are over. Prices are not going to come down, I don't believe, to what they were. Now, this is not financial advice. It's my opinion, and it should not be taken as financial advice, but something for you to think about. I'll kind of show you guys these rounds up close while we're talking. So, moving on, $1,000 silver. Could it go to $1,000 silver? Well, here's the thing that I want people to really think about. In Venezuela, and I touched on it, but I didn't talk too much about it in the previous video. In Venezuela, you had silver at one point for 7 bolivar. This was, well, I won't say not long ago. It was in my lifetime. I mean, we're only talking 20 years ago. $7 silver. 7 bolivar. In the U.S., it was running like $6. So that's but we would love to see that, obviously, again. But those days are over. But what happened here, we printed more money, and prices on everything continued to climb, including silver. And silver is now sitting at $25 spot, 24 something spot. But good luck getting it for that with the premiums and everything. But over there, they printed the money. They devalued the money. They printed more money, devalued the money, printed more money, devalued the money. We've seen it go up in the millions. Now, I want you to think about that. $6 silver into the millions. I had some people tell me, oh, you should take your silver there then and sell it. And at first, for the people that just don't totally understand that, yeah, that's true. I would get millions and millions of bolivar. The problem is when I convert it back to dollars, it's not that much. It's going to be back to $26, $27 for every ounce. And the reason that is the currencies also are essentially tied together in a sense that when the products have a value all over the world, but what's different is the currency value. I want to make sure I'm explaining this right. So if there's a 10, like right now, there's a 16-to-1 ratio to Mexico. So 16 pesos to $1 US. Well, if this cost, an ounce of silver costs $25 in the US, we'll multiply that by 16, and that's how much it's going to be there. So that's $400 peso silver if I did the math right. But basically 16 to 1. Well, once I bring the ounce of silver back, I'm probably only going to get $25 or the same price. So with that being said, now the question was, if silver goes up to 1,000, what's the world going to be like? The world is going to be an ugly place. Just like Venezuela was an ugly place when it shot up into the millions. I mean, for crying out loud, people broke into the zoo to eat the animals. I mean, think about that for a minute. People were eating rotten meat. People were stealing, looting, robbing. But then cartels came in, set up black markets, and from there, it was a lot of trade going on. And yes, the cartels made a profit off setting up that. They got a percentage of every sale. Was that legal? No, it was not legal. Their government did not want them doing that. They did not want them setting that up, taking advantage of the people. But when a government can't provide security and can't provide a means for people to feed themselves, people will look elsewhere. Opportunist people, like the cartels, will set up markets for trade, and they will make sure that stuff is secure. Now, I would not want to go to one of them places and try to rob it. But you could get followed home. You could get robbed once you leave. Obviously, that is where self-defense comes in, security. But it's something I want people to think about. It didn't happen overnight. None of this ever happens overnight. It is a slow road of devaluing. That's pretty, that one. I like that new design. I don't know if you guys like Type 1 or Type 2 better on the Eagles. So it was a slow road. You know, silver and gold skyrocketing overnight, it's probably not realistically going to happen overnight. Could it? I mean, anything could happen. August 22nd, the BRICS could come together and meet. I know there's articles out there that, no, we're not going to launch a gold-backed currency. It's a rumor. And there's arguments out there that are saying it's true. Here's the thing. In history, though, whenever there's been big major changes, stuff has happened overnight. Devaluing a currency is most of the time, from what we've seen, a slow road. But at some points, major changes do happen. Your paper fiat notes rolled out, and you could no longer, you had to turn your gold in and take paper fiat notes. That was it. I mean, that was a change that happened instantly. You had to turn them in. You weren't allowed to hold gold. You know, these are things that have happened literally overnight, but then you had, like 30 days or 60 days to carry it out and get prepared. But I want people to really think about this, because there's a lot of people out there that are still waiting for sub $20 silver. There's a lot of people out there that have this belief that I'm not going to pay more than spot price for something that shouldn't be essentially, more than spot. Spot says that it's $25. Well, I'm only paying $25. That mentality is going to leave a lot of people out in the dirt. They're going to be left behind, and there's not going to be much they can do about it if that happens. They won't have their silver, and when they don't have it and stuff happens, they're going to really be kicking themselves in the butt. Am I saying go out and charge tons of money on silver and go in the hole and just bury yourself in debt? No, I'm not saying that. But I am saying it might be wise to start picking up a few ounces just in case for an emergency, especially if you're in a situation where you have none. Now, we've talked about some of the things in multiple videos, what you need. One thing I didn't mention in the previous video was land. I wish I had put land in that video. It is something you guys know. If you've been following the channel for a while, I want to buy a homestead that has some acreage, and basically kind of start a ranch/farm instead of a little house in the city where my chickens run around and I got to worry about a cat. In fact, I just lost 6 of my chickens the other day. All Are they in a coop? Yes. Do they get out? Does stuff get in? Yes. So it happens. Out in the country, I mean, you can still have issues. However, it's a little bit, I think, easier in the country to protect your stuff than it is in the city. In the city, you have ordinances that they only let you have like so many. You can only have 6. The problem with 6 is, I mean, how much money do you invest in that? If they come and they tell you you have to get rid of them, you know, you got to do what you got to do. I haven't been told that. I've had a lot more than 6. You guys know at one point I had 128. My neighbors all thought I was nuts. But with that being said, I want people to realize that you can see silver skyrocket. Realistically now, real quick, as we're wrapping up the video, hopefully you hit that thumbs up button. Hopefully you hit that subscribe button, and hopefully you left a comment while you were listening. Realistically, what do I see in the short run? $50 silver is not a crazy topic. To me, it's an easy double. It's a no-brainer. I can double my money, my purchasing power, I guess you can say. And some people be like, well, you didn't really double your purchasing power. And that's correct. No, I didn't. However, if everybody else lost half their money, I'm in a better boat. And the reason they lost that is everything doubles in price. I've got some extra food. I've got some extra water. I've got some extra security. I've got a lot of different stuff. I can weather a storm a little easier. I've got silver. So the silver doubled in value because the purchasing value of the value of the dollar plunged by half. I'm really curious to see how things are going to play out. What are they going to do? Are they going to really do what they need to do to get inflation under control and raise interest rates drastically? I'm not convinced they're going to do it. Do I think they'll raise interest rates here soon? 0.5%, 1/4%? I think 1/4%'s coming. I think it will strengthen the dollar a little, but at the end of the day, 1/4% is not going to make a huge impact, I don't believe. 0.5% might kick silver down a buck, which would be nice, but I believe silver is still extremely manipulated and pushed down. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap the video up there. Thank you all for watching. Please make sure you keep your eyes open for our 10,000 subscriber giveaway. I'm hoping to start talking a little bit more about it here in an upcoming video. And I thank you all for watching. Hope you're having a great weekend, and take care, everybody. Have a great one. Bye-bye. And don't forget, check that link below for the how silver is made.